Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Ohio.
Last night at the ballpark, weather-related issues. Wind was blowing, rain coming down. The grounds crew had a very tough time to keep the tarp down, and in the end, last night's game became the 5th rainout of the year for this Reds team. The 3rd here at Great American Ballpark. It looked like a river out there on the field, but today, sunshine, blue skies, hot and humid here in Cincinnati as the Reds and the Brewers finally get this series started right here on Fox Sports Ohio. And hi, and a pleasant Saturday afternoon, everyone, along with Chris Welsh and Jim Day. Jim Kelch from Good American Ballpark. Welcome, as always, to Reds baseball. This afternoon, game 1 of this 3-game get-together, and the first of 2 today. And, Chris, in this first game, we'll get to see a young man who's still in search of that elusive first big league win, but threw pretty darn well at Milwaukee last week, John Lamb.
Well, the second time in John Lamb's young major league career where he faces a team on back-to-back starts, and it's not an easy thing to do. He did it after he started his major league debut against the Dodgers, and then 5 days later came back and hosted him here in Cincinnati. He was very good, in my opinion, in Milwaukee. He had his changeup working and his slider working. He did not throw a lot of curveballs in that ball game, but 8 strikeouts overall, did not walk a batter. That gives John Lamb 29 strikeouts in 22 innings. Those peripheral numbers are very important when you begin to evaluate young pitching, because wins and losses right now for the Reds, well, the wins are coming very hard. So the fact that Lamb is winless as a major leaguer, in my opinion, makes him the best winless career-wise major league pitcher out there right now, because I'm telling you what, the guy can pitch, and he's going to get a lot of wins eventually. All they've got to do is get him some runs.
Well, hopefully he can get that win today. He did get his first quality start that last time out against Milwaukee. Speaking of Milwaukee, Lamb will face a very tough-hitting ball club, and one of them is the hot-hitting catcher they have, Jonathan Lucroy.
Well, this team can score runs. There's no question about it, and especially if you're a left-handed pitcher, because it seems their main thump is all right-handed hitters. But Lucroy is a guy right now right in the middle of everything. He's got an 11-game hitting streak. He's batted about 450 during that time, producing runs. He's got 14 RBI, and he's a guy in the middle of the order that seems to hit the ball right out of the catcher's mitt. Ryan Braun, same way. When this guy gets hot, out over the plate is a place you got to stay away from.
Big day of sports today, and we have our share of it right here. A doubleheader of the Reds and the Brewers. Game 1 here on Fox Ohio. Second game we will not have. We'll take a break. When we come back, Jim Day has more on the Reds' Burning Man. Joey Votto.
We had some severe thunderstorms roll through Cincinnati yesterday, providing a lot of lightning, heavy rainfall. You can actually see some of the lightning strikes there in the background. Now, we could have a couple of lightning strikes a little bit later on. Now, the first game starts at around 1 o'clock. We'll start out mainly dry. Temperatures will be the big story, though, rising up to around 90 degrees. Yeah, the humidity is back with us as well, with a few thunderstorms popping up. Not as widespread and not as severe as yesterday, but something to watch out for, and those will continue on until the early evening. Enjoy the game on Fox Sports Ohio.
All right, also hot has been Joey Votto, particularly on this last road trip. We're running out of ways to describe him, but you can use amazing, stupendous, brilliant, superb, outstanding. Look at the numbers. Reached base in 18 of 27 plate appearances, .550 average, 3 home runs, including 2 game winners, 8 runs driven in, and drew 7 walks on that road trip. Since the All-Star break, it has basically been sit back and enjoy. Even his teammates are mighty impressed.
In a great way, I can say it's sickening. In a good way. It's numbers I've never seen before. Like I saw on-base percentage like .576, so let's calculate that. That's 1 out of every 2 at-bats that's getting on one time, one way or another, walk or a hit, and that's Little League numbers, man. It's something I used to do when I was 12.
Little League numbers at the Major League level. It's the first of 3 and the first of a day-night doubleheader. John Lamb goes to the hill for the Reds. Up next, Jim Kelch and Chris Welsh here on Fox Sports Ohio.
Game of a 3-game series, first of 2 here today. These 2 clubs haven't met here in Cincinnati since the 4th of July weekend. The Reds actually trying to snap a 4-game losing streak here at home to Craig Counsell's club. You can see the numbers that he has put up since taking over for Ron Renicky on the 4th of May. 51 and 57 for the former college baseball player at Notre Dame. Craig Counsell probably keeping his eye on the football action today as well. Take a look at Milwaukee's starting lineup. Gene Segura, Jonathan Lucroy, Ryan Braun at the top, Chris Davis, Jason Rogers, and Domingo Santana in the middle. Hernan Perez, Elian Herrera, and the pitcher Matt Garza round out the 9 put out there by the Brewers. And on the mound for the Reds, making start number 5, is lefty John Lamb.
Well, still a very young guy by baseball standards. John Lamb's turned 25 years old just about a month ago. Reds, of course, acquired him in the trade that sent Johnny Cueto to Kansas City. John came over. Lamb with a couple of other left-handers, Brandon Finnegan and AAA being one of them. You may see him next week. Lamb looking for a W in that win column to break the zeros that he has had so far through his first 4 major league starts.
Gene Segura leads things off, then Jonathan Lucroy, then Ryan Braun here in the Milwaukee first. You mentioned it's hot and humid. It is 86 degrees here at game time. Lamb no wins, 3 losses, 5.24 ERA. When you look at the starts that he has made, the worst start numbers wise was that start against the Dodgers, but even in that game we kind of thought he pitched pretty darn well.
Well, yeah, you know, he just hasn't seemed to have the luck so far, and the fact that he's had in some clutch situations made some bad pitches and been burnt by a home run ball. Adrian Gonzalez got him in his major league debut out in Los Angeles.
His best start numbers wise and his first quality start was the game against his Milwaukee club last week. Nice play by Frazier down the line and a good stretch by Joey Votto and a good start for the Reds. They retire Segura to get this afternoon game going.
Well, John Lamb is going to quickly learn he's got one of the best defenses behind him in all the major leagues, and Frazier is up to the task. I mean, that's a really strong arm throw by Frazier to get a very speedy leadoff hitter.
So Lamb zeroes in now on Jonathan Lucroy. Comes into the game at 261 with 7 home runs. He's driven in 40. Brings an 11-game hitting streak into this game. That's a career high for the former All-Star catcher. John Lamb initially was scheduled to pitch the second game of this series today, but they moved him up to what turns out to be the first game. Brian Price was asked why beforehand, and he said, well, although it's not nearly as severe as it was last night, there's more of a chance later on today for rain. And if that comes, he'd rather interrupt Sampson, who's used to working more out of the bullpen, than Lamb, who's used to always starting. Lamb gets the nod in game 1. Sampson gets the nod in game 2. Brewers don't make a change. Matt Garza here in game 1. Willie Peralta in game 2.
Well, one of the things that Brian Price said about starting Lamb in the first game is that there was a chance of thunder showers, and I'm not so sure whether they're going to prop up like they did yesterday. But the way the heat index is rising in this ballpark, you got to figure late in the day, I mean, anything is possible. And the way you measure heat in this ballpark, Jim, let me give you an idea. You look around the stands, and the more people you see fanning themselves at programs and hats, the hotter it is.
Okay.
It can be 95 degrees, but if they're not fanning themselves, the heat index isn't up. So there's your weather lesson of the day.
I've always been a fan of good scientific approach to things.
There you go. If the mule's tail is wet, it's raining. And if they're swinging at stuff down in the dirt, you're getting strikeouts, and that's what happens with Jonathan Lucroy, who's the hottest hitter against anybody right now. The Lamb gets him to chase.
Well, you talked in the open, Chris, about his walk to strikeout to innings ratio is so good early.
Well, it is, and he knows the importance of attacking the strike zone. Here he throws a changeup down and out of the zone, but the one thing to keep in mind, if you saw where that ball bounced, it bounced right in the center of home plate. So as soon as it came out of his hand, it looked to the hitter like it could be a strike. It didn't miss outside. It didn't miss high. You know, when you miss down, even if it's over the center of the plate, for an instant, it appears to the hitter like it could be a strike.
So he gets the first 2 here in inning number 1, and there's that strikeout to walk ratio that we were talking about. Only 5 walks, 29 Ks in 22 1/3 innings at the big league level so far this year for Lamb, who made his big league debut in the Los Angeles area where he grew up at Dodger Stadium back on the 14th of August.
Well, one of the runs that he gave up his last start against the Brewers came at the bat of Ryan Braun, a leadoff home run that he hit on the very first pitch he saw, which was a changeup. and talked to Lamb about that, and he said, well, you know, it was one of those pitches where I felt like I was a little indecisive about what I wanted to throw. And as a young pitcher, you learn eventually that whatever pitch the catcher calls for, you have to be 100% convinced it's the right pitch, or else chances are you're going to get hurt on it.
Interesting in that game, you talk about the home run, that he did come back and get him on strikes in each of his next 2 at bats.
He got him on a changeup in the 3rd inning and then a curveball in the 6th.
Home plate umpire back there today is Jerry Davis. He's the crew chief. His mates are Toby Basner at first, Jim Wolf at second, Phil Cuzzy is over at third. This game marks the 14th meeting of the year between these two teams. They have 6 remaining. These 3 and upcoming on that long 10-game road trip for the Reds that takes them to San Francisco and St. Louis. Right in the middle of those 2, another stop in Milwaukee. And ball 4. Take a look at the Reds' defensive alignment, brought to you by Ford. Schumacher getting the start in left. Bourgeois has done a very good job with Billy Hamilton being out hurt, is in center. Bruce is in right. Frazier, Suarez, Phillips, Votto third to first. Lamb being caught by Tucker Barnhart. With a runner aboard, 2 out. Here is Chris Davis. Barnhart behind the plate today catching Lamb, but it's not exclusively been Tucker when Lamb has been on the mound. In fact, Brian Price has tried to do a good job of mixing and matching catcher and pitchers with all these different rookies that are in the Reds rotation, and today is the 35th straight start by a rookie. Team record 81st start by a rookie this year on the mound.
With no end in sight.
Right.
You know, we just saw those splits on Chris Davis at the plate and how much he is better at against right-handers and left-handers. I find that a stunning stat, and what it tells me is that he's a sucker for changeups down and away, because he takes a big swing.
Runner got a pretty good jump and an easy steal of second by Braun, getting him his 21st of the year.
Yeah, right now runners are beginning to exploit John Lamb and his moves or lack of to first base. The first time he threw over was a high leg kick move and kind of dangled it out there, and it was what we call a bell on the end of the toe move that you can hear him ringing when he's coming over. The second one was a step off move, and that really doesn't do much to shorten up a lead. And Braun's an aggressive base stealer. They put a guy in scoring position with 2 out. But getting back to Davis, I mean, he takes a cut like that on anything on the inner part of the plate. I mean, he just tries to lift and separate just about everything that comes on the inner half, and he's got plenty of power and bat speed to do it. When you get it in there, that's the spot you have to get it in, right in on his thumbs. Might go away with the changeup right here.
Braun going to third, and Davis helped him out by swinging at a ball outside, and he will be thrown out by Lamb, and so the Reds get a break there with the help of Chris Davis, and Lamb hangs a 0 in the top of the first. Regional Tourism Network. Stay close to CincinnatiUSA.com. By Chevy. Check out their award-winning lineup only at your Tri-State Chevy dealer. And by Skyline Chili. Feeling good? It's Skyline time. Big Labor Day weekend across the country. German Fest here in the Cincinnati area. Redstoberfest. German Heritage Day here at the ballpark. You take a look at the Reds lineup. Brought to you by Meyer. Jason Bourgeois. We mentioned the great job that he has done since playing center field, leading it off. Then Bruce, then Votto. Phillips, Fraser, Schumacher out in left field batting sixth. Suarez, Barnhart, and Lamb round out the Reds' 9 today against the right-hander, the veteran, Matt Garza.
Well, the real Matt Garza, please stand up. I think people in Milwaukee are calling for that right now, because is this the guy that is really 6-14, pushing 6 with an earned run average, or can he be ever again the same Matt Garza that won 15 games and has had 4 seasons of double-digit wins in his major league career? They've got him for a couple of more years on contract.
Yeah, that's a big question for these guys. They signed him prior to last year, a 4-year, $50 million deal, so 2 more years with a vesting option in 18.
Really what's happened with Matt Garza in a nutshell, if you talk to scouts that have seen him pitch and other coaches from other teams, is that he's lost the late life on his fastball. And even though he still may register on the radar gun, 92 in Milwaukee, occasionally 94 miles an hour. If it's straight and if you're not locating it, it is good hitting. And that's what he has found this year.
Now, the Reds are seeing him for the 3rd time this year. He won here in Cincinnati way back on the 29th of April when he allowed 2 runs in 6 2/3. And then the Reds beat him around pretty good. That was last Saturday in Milwaukee when they gave up a season high 11 hits and only 3 2/3 innings. Tied for the most losses in the big leagues with 14. There's some interesting stats now on him. First 4 starts, 3-0 with a 1.26. August 29th, one we just talked about, beat around pretty well. 7 runs, 11 hits, 3 2/3 in that game. And you talk about, will the real Matt Garza stand up? His last 3 starts have been terrible. His ERA close to 13. His previous 5 prior to that, a 2.56. Bourgeois hanging in there, fouls it back.
This is the kind of day that if you're a hitter, you really want to take the approach that the Chicago Cubs took against the Reds pitchers while they were in Chicago, which is foul a lot of balls off, run the count up, make the guy on the mound work for every out that he gets. And so far so good for Bourgeois. 7 pitches in this at bat. I mean, Garza's the kind of guy, he'll slow the pace down to just about an absolute crawl. Just this side of reverse. And, you can use that to your advantage.
And that's without runners on base.
Exactly.
There's Bourgeois fouling another one away. This guy has done a nice job, hasn't he, filling in for Billy Hamilton?
Well, he has. I mean, he's given you pretty much what you would have hoped for and expected out of Bourgeois. Had a very good spring. Ended the spring training with a broken shoulder blade. So he went on the disabled list, had a long time to get himself finally healthy, and just so happens he's getting a lot of playing time with Hamilton on the DL.
Still another foul. Today he makes his 13th start in center since Hamilton went on the DL, and during that time he's hit over 300. Had a nice road trip. 8 hits and 24 at bats, including a home run. Well, he is really making Garza work to get this first out of the game.
Tells you 2 things: that Bourgeois is willing to shorten his approach and his swing to try to make contact and foul the ball off, and number 2, Garza does not have a put away pitch. And with a 2-2 count, he's just not able really to expand the zone before he gets full and has to come in there with a strike. So he's got 1 pitch with which to work, really, to kind of throw one that looks like a strike but isn't.
We talk a lot about 13 to 15 pitches in an inning is a good one. He's thrown 11 now to Bourgeois and still hasn't gotten the first out. 7 straight foul balls, 7 of them. Folks down below appreciating this plate appearance by Jason Bourgeois.
Well, he's provided a lot of souvenirs already.
Gonna be tough. Let's see if they can get it, and they do. That's the second baseman, Hernan Perez, who runs that down. And finally, after 13 pitches, Garza retires Bourgeois. Take a look at the Brewers in total defensively, brought to you by your Ford dealers. Davis, Santana, and Braun across the outfield. Perez, Segura, Herrera, Rogers on the infield. Garza pitching to Jonathan Lucroy. A couple of changes that they made in their lineup. When the Reds made the change with Lamb, they took Scooter Gennett out and put Hernan Perez at second base. Gennett has not done a good job at all against lefties. Hit well by Bruce, but to the warning track, and Davis is there to haul it in for out number 2. They also put Jason Rogers at first base and took Adam Lind out of the lineup, a left-handed batter. So it takes him 13 pitches to get Bourgeois and 1 to get Bruce.
Brings the average down.
But here now is the man we were talking about. You like to refer to him as the Burning Man,
well,
Joey Votto.
Is there a hotter hitter in all of baseball? And it's interesting that Votto, you know, is getting some MVP talk where you wouldn't even think about that. I mean, it's been a long time since there has been an MVP named to a team that has finished last. And right now, that's exactly where the Reds are. You've got to go back 28 years to when Andre Dawson won the MVP award for the Chicago Cubs, for a last place team to have an MVP.
That ball is caught by the second baseman Perez, and so the Reds go in order in the first against Garza. Ball season tonight. Bearcats open up against Alabama A&M at the newly renovated Nippert Stadium. Game can be only seen right here, Fox Sports Ohio, starting at 7 p.m. Good luck tonight at Tommy Tuberville's UC Bearcats, getting it started right across the city. Jason Rogers leads things off here in the Brewers' second. Scoreless through 1. 1 strikeout, 1 walk in the first inning for 25-year-old John Lamb. Rogers at 231 with a couple of home runs. Up and down a couple of times between Milwaukee and their first-year AAA affiliate, Colorado Springs. Sky Sox out there with a long-time AAA club of, quite naturally, you would think, the Rockies. And Milwaukee and their AAA club for a long time in Nashville. And there was a huge switch up in affiliation after the 2014 season, and the Brewers ended up with a AAA club in Colorado Springs. That ball driven to the track, but Bourgeois runs it down. He's not as speedy as Billy Hamilton, but he has made all the plays out there since he's been in center.
Well, it's a good outfield to cover because a lot of the fencing is so close that it covers itself, meaning you don't need a guy that is a world-class sprinter to cover the outfield here at Great American Ballpark. It helps, but a good jump and a good route to the ball will get you a lot of outs.
Santana, first pitch swinging, drops one into center in front of Bourgeois, and so Domingo Santana is on with a base hit. Young man came over in the deal with the Houston Astros that sent Carlos Gomez, Mike Fiers, who then threw a no-hitter for the Astros after the trade. Over there, Santana comes over here. He gets the first hit of the game. Here's Hernan Perez. They listed him, by the way, in case you like to keep track of these kind of things, which I do. Joel Luckup, our stat man, does. They listed him in the lineup as playing second base, but actually when the Brewers took the field, he was at third base. Elian Herrera is actually out at second base. You want to make note of that, Chris? In your stat sheet?
Better believe it. That's an important note right there. More than minutia. You're stepping up your game. So is Joel.
There's that changeup you like to talk about.
Well, Lamb is not afraid to throw this changeup on back-to-back, even back-to-back pitches. In fact, I think he struck out Yasiel Puig in his major league debut on back-to-back-to-back changeups.
Yeah, you're right.
Made him look bad 3 times in a row.
There's strike 3 call. Perez took it. Lamb gets number 2 in the strikeout department.
Add and subtract. That's really what it's all about. You're always trying to throw off the hitter's timing, and you go from what, in the mid-70s to 92 miles an hour right on the corner.
We've been singing the praises, particularly lately, of Raisel Iglesias and the great job that he has done, and Anthony DeSclafani, who by and large all year has been very good for a rookie in his first full season in the big leagues. And even though Lamb hasn't won a game, I think the Reds feel very confident that they found another one here in this guy.
Yeah, and you hope to, because if you run 5 rookie pitchers out there, it doesn't mean all 5 are going to be in your rotation next year, especially when you have Homer Bailey on the mend from Tommy John surgery. He's expected to anchor the staff. But if you can get 60% of the pitchers that are running, you're running out here as rookies this year to be back next year as legitimate starters in the major leagues, you've done a great job.
Yeah, it's really, really something.
And, you know, you're talking about 3 of those guys, and DeSclafani, Iglesias, and Lamb. It doesn't mean that Kivas Sampson is locked out by any means. I mean, he has just come along a little bit slower right now, I think, than some of the other guys. And, you know, as it turns out, you never know. Maybe Lorenzen will be a guy that you'll be thinking the same thing of. Or maybe one of these guys will be more fitted for the bullpen because, you know, having watched the Reds bullpen this year, it could use a little touching up too.
Suarez under this pop up by Herrera. He'll make the play. 2 innings with a 1 hit, no run baseball turned in by John Lamb. This Reds offense lately, particularly the long ball, 2 home runs in each of the last 3 games. The last time the Reds did it in 4 straight games with 2 or more homers. You have to go all the way back to 2012. The Reds with those 6 home runs in the last 3 games, all of those in Chicago, now are 4th in the league with 141 home runs. They got them from Bourgeois and Votto on Wednesday, from Votto and Suarez on Tuesday, and in the opening game of that series at Chicago, Suarez and Adam Duvall in his first at bat with the Redlegs had a pinch hit home run. Scoreless into the bottom of the 2nd. Phillips leads things off. Phillips, then Frazier, then Skip Schumacher against Matt Garza, who retired the Reds in order in the 1st. Did it on 16 pitches after throwing 13 to the leadoff man. Phillips starts the day at 289 with 10 home runs. Had a very nice road trip. Mentioned it's German Heritage Day here at the ballpark, and every time they show a Reds batter up on the big scoreboard, they have him dressed in German clothing, German gear, and there's BP. He looks pretty snappy in that outfit. Now, today was supposed to be the Brandon Phillips Bowling Bash to help out the Reds Community Fund, but that's had to be postponed until 1 week from today due to the doubleheader.
Yeah, I know a lot of people disappointed about that. The good news is they did find a good date to reschedule it to, so it'll be September the 12th. And I know that you and Jim Day can't wait till September 12th rolls around and be over there at the Erlanger Super Bowl.
And Brian Giesenslaw will be there as well. Joe Zerhusen at the Super Bowl in Erlanger. Next Saturday's a day game as well against the Cardinals.
Now, I say that hoping that all of you are able to clear your schedule. Not sure if everybody's going to be able to make it or not, but that would be a great time.
And if you're sitting back saying, what is this, a bowling bash? What is this? I'd like to get involved in that. There are spots still available. If you'd like to get in, help support the Reds Community Fund, the Brandon Phillips Bowling Bash, rescheduled from today to next Saturday at the Super Bowl in Erlanger. Leadoff man on for the Redlegs. Frazier at 262 with 30 home runs. That 30th came last Saturday against the Brewers, and in fact against his pitcher Matt Garza, marking the first time in Todd's career that he's hit 30 in a year, closing in on a career high in RBIs as well. 80 last year, career best, sitting at 77 this year. There he is, 4th in the league in home runs. He's been leading the league in doubles all year. Extra base hits, he's dropped off just a little bit. He's been leading that department most of the year, and right up there in total bases as well. Ron coming on. That's the first out here in the Reds' 2nd inning. Here's Schumacher. Talked about today being Reds Toberfest here at the ballpark, German Heritage Day. We're giving away those beautiful Reds Steins as you came into the ballpark today, the first 20,000.
It's a nice giveaway. Really nice.
Really nice, yeah. Reds welcome today the German ambassador to the United States, Mr. Peter Wittig, at the ballpark today. Threw out one of the ceremonial first pitches. German American Citizens League of Cincinnati presented the colors. Definitely a German flavor, GABP, here on this Saturday afternoon. Diving shortstop Segura, and into center, turning the corner Phillips, forcing the throw from the center fielder Santana. Right off the bat, I thought that may be a double play ball, but Segura didn't get to it to his left.
Well, Segura playing a couple of steps towards the third base bag, not really all that much at double play depth there, and that ball hit very sharply, gets to a hardened infield. You got to figure, as hot as it has been, no matter how much water you put on this baseball field, the grass is still green, but the dirt underneath, the clay, has gotten very hard, and that means it's very fast. Balls will get through there quickly.
Now the first scoring chance for either side in this game comes to the Reds with 2 on and 1 out. Shortstop Eugenio Suarez jumps in there. Suarez at 284. He did not have a good series up in Milwaukee, but countered that with a pretty good 3-game series in Chicago that included a couple of home runs. He went 1 for 13 against the Brewers as part of that recent 6-game road trip. Lines this ball center field. Phillips being waved around by Jim Riggleman. He will score, and the Reds jump in front 1-0 here on the bottom of the first. RBI single. Suarez, number 40 for the Red shortstop.
Boy, he has just come on and stayed on. It has been really refreshing to watch Eugenio Suarez at the plate. I mean, not waiting long at all with a couple of runners on base. He gets just enough of this to get into the outfield.
Suarez has hit a very respectable 277 with runners in scoring position this year, since he took over in the early days of June after the injury to Zach Kozar. Barnhart rolls this one to the right side. They get one there. Garza covering. Throw is behind him. Safe at first. Runner coming in from third. Schumacher. He will score, and it is 2-0 Reds.
Real heads-up play by Skip Schumacher right there. You don't get any help from your third base coach. It's all on you to watch the play as you come around third. And when Garza hit the first base bag, he may have been a little bit late getting there. Who knows? We'll take another look. He gets over there. The double play, 3-6-1. And oh no, the throw was way on the home base side of first base, and Garza tried to knock it down and did, but when he knocked it down, Schumacher is watching and says, I'm taking a chance, and he scores easily without a throw.
Yeah, that's just a heads-up play right there, keeping your head in the game all the way, knowing what's going on. It'll be a fielder's choice for Barnhart. An error on the throw by the shortstop Segura that allows the runner from third to score Schumacher. Either way, it's 2-0 Cincinnati. Batter now is Land. Milwaukee has not been, look at their numbers this year, a very good defensive team. In fact, that is their 94th error of the year, the second most in the National League.
And the throw was on the shortstop?
And the throw was on the shortstop.
That's number 16 for Segura, huh?
Yeah. Barnhart safely aboard, 2 out. Lamb still looking for his first big league hit. Remember when he hit against the Dodgers out on the 14th of August in LA? It was the first time he had ever gone to the plate as a professional. Coming up to the Kansas City organization, their pitchers didn't hit. They came over to the Reds and went to Louisville. They were playing American league affiliated clubs, so he didn't bat in those games. And he went up there against Alex Wood, a lefty, first time he'd ever gone to the plate. 4-6 in the force out there. Herrera to Segura. They get Barnhart, putting an end to the bottom of the second. But the Reds get 2. Jump in front early.
GABP. I'm Jim Day. Let's update you. Down on the farm, a couple of big honors for some Reds farm hands. And we'll start with Amir Garrett. He's our subject of our IGS Bringing the Energy. He's been at High A Daytona and awarded with the Co-Pitcher of the Year award. Second in wins in that league, 2.44 ERA. Second in strikeouts with 133. And over his second half of the season, 7-2, 1.72 ERA. Opponents just hitting .212 off of him. You go up one level to Double-A, boys. And Jesse Winker got off to a really slow start, but he is your Southern League Player of the Month. What an August he had. 344, 6 doubles, 6 long ones, 19 runs driven in. Jesse Winker, one of the top hitting prospects and one of the few hitting prospects in the Reds organization, turning up the wick.
Thank you, Jim, for that update, because when spring training began, I think there are a lot of folks who thought they may see Jesse Winker here by the end of the year. But the first half he had down at Double-A really struggled. Finally got it going in the second half.
It seems like the two hitters that you hear most about in the Reds minor league organization, Jesse Winker, because he was the minor league player of the year a couple of years ago, best hitter in the organization, then Kyle Waldrop, who last year was the best hitter in the Reds minor league organization. He got off to a good start, slowed down, I think, towards the middle of the end of the season, but interesting to see where they may play out in the long run.
Waldrop had a good first half, but boy, that promotion up a level to Louisville really has slowed him down. Nice play, Frazier. Wide throw, but Votto stays on the bag, and they got him. Highlight play right there.
Well, I gave the first play that Todd Frazier made against Segura a 2-star play. You got to give this a 4-star play right here. He robs a double, not only keeps the double from happening, but is able to get the speedy runner at first base. Segura he is chapped. He thinks that Votto came off the bag, and he's looking into the dugout watching the bench coach and Craig Counsell to see if they're going to challenge a call.
They are not going to challenge at first. Good look at it right here. Votto did appear to have his foot on the base. Lamb appreciates the D behind him, so 2 off. Here's Lucroy. Lucroy missed a month and a half or so this year with a fractured left big toe. Second half of April, all the month of May. And a nice job offensively since his return, right near 300. Bourgeois tracks this ball. And that's a 1-2-3 frame in the third for John Lamb. This Sunday, that's tomorrow, take advantage of exclusive ticket offers and enjoy face painting, live mascot races, games, and more. Plus, kids 14 and younger will receive a Todd Frazier poster thanks to Tri-County Mall. For tickets, 513-381-REDS. Visit select Kroger locations or go to reds.com/family. We were talking earlier about the fact that this is a doubleheader today. We have this game, game one, on Fox Sports Ohio, but the second game will not air. Instead, you'll see UC football tonight against Alabama A&M in their season opener. We will be back tomorrow for the finale of this three-game series, the Reds and the Brewers. Game time 1:10 will come on right at 1 o'clock. Reds and the Brewers tomorrow afternoon. Here's Jason Bourgeois. Leads things off here in the third. Talked about that long plate appearance he had in terms of pitches. A 13-pitch appearance to start the Reds' first inning, the longest by a Reds player this year. How about that? Down 2 strikes. Last Reds player with a plate appearance that long was Scott Rowland, in a 15-pitch appearance against the Diamondbacks late August of 2012. Talking over 3 years ago.
You know, that is a great bit of research by Joel Luckham.
Sure is.
I'm a little disappointed, though, that the Reds have not had more long plate appearances in terms of number of pitches. I mean, especially from the guys in the leadoff spot. I mean, it just seemed like the other day when the Reds were in Chicago playing against the Cubs, every other hitter was giving the Reds pitchers a 6 or 7 or 8 pitch at bat.
Good hustle over there by Jason Rogers to retire Bourgeois to get the bottom of the third started. Remember, fans, if a Reds home run hits the Toyota sign during this afternoon's game, Mike Duffy of Cincinnati will win the beautiful Tundra that's on display here at Great American Ballpark. You can register for your chance to win in an upcoming game by seeing your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. There it sits high atop the Reds bullpen area out in left center field. Brand spanking new Toyota Tundra. It will be given away at the end of the season, if not won beforehand. Bruce flied to left his first time. Jay had a decent series in Milwaukee, but hit the skid, so to speak, in Chicago. 4 hits, including a homer in the 3 games in Milwaukee, but only 1 for 14 against the Cubs. Still struggling to get above the 200 mark since the All-Star break. Comes into this game 191 since the break.
Well, in some ways it's been a typical Jay Bruce year in which we've seen him on fire. He hit .315, had 19 RBI and 5 home runs in the month of July, and then has since seemingly dropped off the table. Batted a .150 in August. Is 1 for 10 so far here in September. And what's really makes it even worse is that there just seems to be a lot of easy outs, lazy fly balls to left field. And you know he's trying. He's taking batting practice every day. Don Long tells me he's working hard under the cage and so on. But it's got to be even more frustrating for Jay Bruce than it is for fans that are watching him.
Well, he'll try to get on here with 1 out in the bottom of the third. Had a decent amount of career success against Garza, and he continues it here with a solid single into right. Came into the game over .350 lifetime against Garza, and he is on here with 1 out.
Actually has had 3 home runs against Garza and a batting average of .367, and he waits on that pitch. A fastball elevated on a 3-2 count. Actually, that was one of the best velocity-wise fastballs that Garza's thrown today. Dialed it up at 95 and probably went into right field at 105.
So you're talking exit speed right there.
I am. Little pitch FX and hitter FX.
Now here's Votto, 1 on, 1 out. We showed the stat earlier. Votto on the road trip was on base 18 times, and the 27 times he came to the plate. Continues that torrid on base percentage for the season in the second half. Leads the big leagues in that department in the second half at .576 coming into this game.
He's also getting the hits at the right time.
Yeah.
I mean, Votto hit that 3-run home run the 9th inning against the Cubs on Wednesday. Put that game out of reach.
2-run homer in Milwaukee to spur that big 9th inning comeback win on Saturday a week ago.
You know, they say that the first half of the year is awarded by an all-star recognition. And the second half of the year, if your team's not making it to the playoffs, is recognized by those postseason awards they give out. Silver Slugger Awards, MVPs. And of course, the Silver Slugger Award for a first baseman in the National League might be the hardest award to get of any other award in the National League, other than a Cy Young and an MVP. But I mean, from the Silver Slugger standpoint, there are so many really good hitters who are playing first base in this league.
Most notably, I guess, Paul Goldschmidt of Arizona, who's in the conversation for MVP award.
Sure. Adrian Gonzalez, who's always a guy that has a good year. Anthony Rizzo.
Joe Lucca brings up a good point. What about Votto for the comeback player of the year this year? After an injury-riddled 2014, draws the walk.
Well, he certainly would be the guy that would be the front runner for that if you like that award.
117th walk of the year for Votto.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, the Reds are in last place, right? So where would the Reds be without Joey Votto? Last place, right? So, I mean, you have to ask yourself, what do the Reds need to do to restructure their club to get the most out of Joey Votto's production? Because you know what kind of player he is. You know what he brings to the table. You know, and maybe it's not up to Joey Votto to change the way he approaches his offense. Maybe it's up to the ball club to figure out a way to put a team together to get the most out of having Votto batting in the second or the third hole. And you know, if you put Votto, for instance, in the middle of the Toronto Blue Jays order, I mean, with all the guys that are knocking the ball all over the ballpark there, how many runs would he score a year with the times he is on base? So, you know, that it's not necessarily Votto's inability to go out of the strike zone and drive runs in and all the controversy that you want to talk about with that.
Solid single. Phillips racing home is Bruce. The throw from Santana offline. And the Reds add to their advantage. Now up 3-0 here in the third. Phillips gets his 53rd run batted in.
It's getting guys to hit after Votto, and Phillips does it right there. A perfect day so far for Brandon. A walk, a run scored, an RBI with this single.
You know, I like your thought though on the whole Votto situation. So often you hear it from the other side is, why can't Votto do more of this? But your approach is really the other side of the coin on that.
Well, I mean, if you got a guy who's putting up the kind of season this year that would get him MVP talk, even if he doesn't win the MVP, you're talking about him in the conversation. Well, why would you want to change him? You want to take him from an MVP type player to somebody who's more mediocre? No, I think it's easier to change the other side of the coin there and the guys that are surrounding him.
Second out of the inning on that fly ball by Frazier is now flied out twice here today. And the batter will be Schumacher, 2 on, 2 out, and a run in.
Frazier in the middle of a major power outage. I mean, he has had 5 home runs in his last 234 plate appearances going back to July, the beginning of July.
Yeah, 25 to the break, 5 since.
2 months in a row with 9 each, and he's only had 3 in July and 2 in August. And those are the months where you think that the home run would be up. All the offense in baseball is up after the All-Star break everywhere. Earned run averages are up. Balls are flying more because it's warmer.
Schumacher on the ground to Herrera. And that will put an end to the Reds' third. But they add to their lead with an RBI single by Phillips. Up the ante now to 3-0. Saturdays this year here at Great American Ballpark. Next Saturday, September the 12th, all fans in attendance receive a Pete Rose Stars of the Queen City bobblehead presented by Queen City Sausage. Tickets are going fast. You can get yours by calling 513-381-REDS or by visiting select Kroger locations or reds.com/tickets. That's next Saturday, September the 12th. Reds and the Cardinals, all fans. A Pete Rose Stars of the Queen City bobblehead. Braun in the 4th inning against the left-hander John Lamb, who's been staked to a lead here of 3-0. Braun walked his first time. And he'll get on here as he hits this one into the left field corner. Going to end up with 2 on this. 2-base hit for the right fielder of the Brewers, Ryan Braun. That is his 24th of the year.
Well, it looks like he got ahead of a breaking ball right there. I think it was a changeup, and it was not a bad pitch. Caught a little more of the plate, but you give credit to Braun here because he's a guy that, you know, great hitters like Ryan Braun, they have a great memory, and they can click back to what a pitcher, the sequence he throws him, and how he changes speeds and what he likes to go to and so on. And Braun, you know, has seen that changeup enough right now to recognize it. And if you make a mistake with the location, he puts a fat part of the bat on it.
Lamb has walked 1, struck out 2 so far in the game. That hit by Braun, the Brewers' second. Chris Davis did enough last year for this Milwaukee club that the Brewers ended up putting Braun in right, making room for him out in left field, but he has not equaled the numbers this year that he put up a year ago when he hit 22, drove in 69. This year's at 17 homers, 48 RBIs. His average is down. Lamb falls behind 3-1.
I mean, Chris Davis is a real good fastball hitter. You would think that of all hitters around here, that he would be the one that you would want to swing on a 3-0 count, knowing you're going to get a heater. Gets another and can't pull the trigger.
Up from 3-0 to 3-2 to Davis.
Power numbers are there for Chris Davis. The question is, will he hit for enough average to be able to maintain everyday playing time? 234 right now doesn't cut it.
He draws the walk, and so for the first time, Milwaukee gets 2 on in an inning. A tying run, and Jason Rogers will come to the plate. Rogers, a guy I mentioned earlier, up and down a couple of times with their AAA club at Colorado Springs. Was having a pretty good year down there in the Pacific Coast League, hitting .344.
Well, he's come a long way. Jason Rogers has a 32nd round draft pick out of Columbus State University. But a few years later in the minor league organization, he was the player of the year in 2013. And he can hit a fastball. He was up earlier in the year, and the Brewers tried him over at third base, and he had a horrible defensive night. I mean, it was a kind of an unfair thing to do. They put him over there, and he hadn't played first or third base in several years in the minor leagues. In fact, he had been primarily a first baseman. Then they put him in the outfield, and the ball found him out there. Big, strong guy. You better be careful where you put it.
Hit the ball hard his first time, was run down by Bourgeois on the warning track in left center. Now Rogers ahead here, 2-1.
Regroup time here for John Lamb. Good looking pitch. You know, if a left-handed pitcher can somehow Xerox off that particular pitch on the knees, on the outside corner, and just run that off about 20,000 times, you're going to make a lot of money in this game. You don't have to trick them every time. You just have to put it in a spot where you give them the best chance to get themselves out.
Rogers looked back at Jerry Davis, who rings him up. So a nice job by Lamb to come back and get the Brewer first baseman for the first out of the inning.
Well, I think he probably felt Tucker Barnhart moving inside, but that pitch was outside. Lamb missed his spot, but still missed it to a good location. And the good thing about that, if you noticed how Tucker Barnhart received that ball, he jumps inside on the right-handed hitter, but as the pitch is underway, he's already moving his glove out there so that it's set when he receives the ball. He's not late getting to the ball where he's going to like jab at it. And I think receiving it the way he did had a lot to do with that being called a strike.
So now 2 on with 1 out. Double play in order if the Reds can get it. Domingo Santana. Santana only 23 years old, out of the Dominican. Big league debut last year with the Astros. This year in the minor leagues. Big average, big home run, power guy. Getting a chance now here to play the outfield with Carlos Gomez now at the Houston Ball Club via that trade. Runner going to third. Fly ball to right. Bruce will get it, and Braun will have to retreat. That one carried all the way to the warning track.
Well, that ball didn't sound good. It didn't look good from a trajectory standpoint, but still, Bruce was 2 steps in the warning track to haul it back in. Goes to show you how this is a good day to keep the ball down. Really flying here.
So Lamb 2/3 of the way home. He gives up the double to Braun. The walk to Davis. Rogers looking. And Santana on a fly ball to deep right. So 2 on, no one out. Turns into 2 on, 2 out for Hernan Perez.
Kind of interesting for Perez. He's got so many parallels with Eugenio Suarez, the shortstop for the Reds. They're both Venezuelans. Perez happens to be from the part of the country where Davy Concepcion comes. But they came up with the Detroit Tigers, and they both lost their spot to Jose Iglesias, who is the shortstop now for the Tigers. Perez eventually got put on waivers, and that's where he was picked up this year by the Milwaukee Brewers.
They might need him now. Iglesias is on the DL.
And Suarez got playing time last year when Iglesias went on the DL. So there were a little trio of infielders. I'm not even sure if Iglesias is from Venezuela or not.
I don't know.
But
check that.
But it's interesting that they're all kind of a little triumvirate there. and 2 of them now are at different ball clubs.
Both runners going.
And what Perez did right there at the very end when both runners are running and bend over is about the dumbest thing a right-handed hitter can do in the batter's box. I mean, he bent down obviously because he thought maybe Tucker Barnhart was going to throw the ball to third base. He didn't want to get hit. But he has no obligation as a hitter to get out of the way. He can stand in that batter's box as straight up and down and as big as he can make himself and make it harder for the catcher to throw rather than make it easier. And most hitters don't understand that.
Broken bat play for Suarez. Has it. Got him at first. Nice job, Lamb. Nice job, Suarez. 2 on, nobody out for Milwaukee, and they fail to score in the 4th.
Coaches, interim featherweight champion Conor McGregor and Uriah Faber join an all-new season of The Ultimate Fighter. The mayhem begins Wednesday only on Fox Sports 1. And our own warrior, legend, and icon is the Cowboy Jeff Brantley. Up in the radio booth today with Marty. Born on this date in 1963, so happy birthday to the Cowboy and the baseball gods. What type of present did they give him? A day-night doubleheader to call. Hang with them. Happy birthday.
Yeah, we second that for sure. Happy birthday to the Cowboy, number 52. His poor wife has to sit home while he's here sweating it through a doubleheader.
Well, happy birthday, Jeff Brantley. Fireman of the Year. What year was he the Fireman of the Year?
96. Does that sound right?
Oh, I'll tell you what, boy. When he was at top of his game, he was dealing. Guy could throw a high fastball by everyone. It just looked so good, and guys would just never get on it. He'd throw that little split finger fastball for a changeup, and had one terrific run here as a Reds closer.
And he still is the single season saves leader in Reds history. I think that year, 96, he saved, what, 44? Is that right, Joel? 44 games that year. All right, bottom of the 4th. Suarez leads things off. He had the hit that scored Phillips back in the 2nd, gave the Reds the 1-0 lead. They lead now 3-0. Bottom 3 in the Reds order. Barnhart on deck, then Lamb. Garza has walked 2. He's not struck out anyone yet. Falling behind here 3-1. Hit hard into the left field corner by Suarez. Reaching but not being able to come up with it is Chris Davis. Suarez to second. Ball rolls away. Suarez will stay put with a leadoff 2-base hit here in inning number 4. So Suarez, who had a nice series in Chicago, continues it in the first game of this series against the Brewers. Now 2 for 2, and for Eugenio, double number 16.
Well, the Reds are making it tough on Matt Garza every inning except the first. They've had runners on base. They've scored in the second and the third. They get a double lead the inning off right here. You get behind, and Suarez, boy, he just has a real nice path to the ball.
Here's Tucker Barnhart.
You know, for a while there, Brian Price, because Suarez was so hot, tried getting Suarez right in front of Joey Votto. And then all of a sudden Suarez cools off, so they puts him back down the lower part of the lineup. Number 7 spot is where he has batted most and where he is today.
Caught down there by Rogers on a broken bat.
Well, it's broken now. That's what you call a compound fracture.
Cracked and then broken.
Exactly.
You know, Barnhart's another one. We were talking about Suarez and the job he's done. Gotten to see more of Barnhart this year due to the Mesoraco injury, and never thought of much as an offensive player, but he's shown more this year.
Well, you know what you also like about Tucker? He shows fire. I mean, some people may not like that, you know, you're breaking your bat and that type of demonstrative activity after you make it out. But I like guys that have fire. I mean, when he threw a guy out, and I want to say it was in the Milwaukee series, at second base to end the inning, I mean, he came up and pumped his fist. And I mean, it's hard to do that on a team that's in last place. But you want guys that have a little fire, not this guys that are out there, you know, playing the game of baseball. You're playing the game to win, not just playing it. And I think Tucker's a guy that gets that. And that's what he has going for him. If he didn't have that fire, he probably wouldn't be a big leaguer.
You get that out of both catchers. You get it with Pena as well.
Yeah, you really do. Which leads you to wonder what the Reds are going to do next year with the catching department.
Indeed.
You got Brian Pena, who's a free agent after the year. They still have control over Tucker Barnhart for several years. And the big question mark, of course, is Devin Mesoraco. Will he be able to come back from that hip surgery that they say was no big deal? He feels no pain, but can he catch? And how much can he catch?
Just a reminder, as you enjoy this afternoon's game here at Great American Ballpark, we look forward to bringing you our Miller Time moment of the game. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Chance now for Bourgeois. He's popped up. He's fouled out. He's 0 for 2 in this one. Bourgeois 3 RBIs on the road trip. All of those coming in Chicago, including that leadoff home run on Wednesday against Jason Hamill. Coming onto the second Red this year, along with Phillips, to lead off a game with a home run for the Reds. Perez will throw him out, and that puts an end to the Cincinnati 4th inning. Ford dealer. Ford, go further. By Meyer. Find more for a healthier you at Meyer. And by Cincinnati Children's, ranking 3rd in the country on U.S. News and World Report's Best Children's Hospital. A lot of folks walking around Great American Ballpark today. There's game 1 of the Twin Bill going on now. 6:10 tonight. Game 2. And again, we will not have that game for you here on Fox Sports Ohio. UC football instead, but we'll be back tomorrow for the finale of this 3-game get-together. That from a pitching standpoint will include Michael Lorenzen against Jimmy Nelson. Second game today, Kivas Sampson against Willie Peralta. Second game starts at 6:10. Jim Day had a big piece, good piece on double headers during the pregame coverage. What did he say? 87? They played 41. Does that sound right? That sounds like too recent. Base hit down the left field line by Herrera into the corner. Goes Schumacher to get it. Into second with a leadoff double is Herrera. He had popped up his first time. Herrera gets the double here. That is number 15. Brewers get their 3rd hit.
Well, he's had 1-2-3 inning, John Lamb has, and every other time he's pitched himself out of trouble, he'll have to do it again. Herrera quick on the inside fastball there. Those are the kind of things that if you're John Lamb, you put away in your head. Because he's assuming, and I would too, that at some time or another he'll be a big league pitcher in the rotation, probably for the Reds. And if Herrera hangs around, he's going to face him. So he's going to realize, you know what, guy's pretty quick on the inside pitch. I'm going to keep that in mind.
Popped up and out of play. Reds playing their 3rd doubleheader of the year. I said 87. It may be incorrect, but back you played in the 80s. Did you guys play many scheduled doubleheaders?
Yeah, there were a few scheduled a year. I can't remember how many did it say. 40,
41, but I'm not sure
for the entire schedule of Major League Baseball. Wow.
Let's go down to Jim Day. He gave those stats. Jim, what were those numbers?
They played in the 30s and 40s. They played a lot of doubleheaders. 1987 was the last scheduled doubleheader at LA, and they played 41 doubleheaders in 1945. So the game has certainly changed. Now it takes a rain out or some type of postponement to get a doubleheader.
41 of them. That's crazy. That's more than half the schedule I think you were talking about back in those days. More than half the schedule played as part of a doubleheader.
And of course, we're not talking about day-night doubleheaders. We're talking about one game and then immediately followed by another game. 2 for the price of 1. Travel had a lot to do with that because there wasn't jet travel all over the place like there is today. And teams would, board a train or they'd board a plane.
Bruce in a long run cannot get to that ball. Herrera's going to score, but they're going to get the runner out at second base. Segura. You run at your own risk when you're trying to test the arm of Jay Bruce. And Bruce gives it up to Suarez, who puts the tag on Segura. That is a 9-6 put out. Run does score, making it 3-1, but now the Brewers have nobody on base.
A good play on both parts right there. Good aggressive base running by Segura. Forces the Reds to make a good defensive play. And Bruce does it, throwing on the run. Boy, he shows plenty of arm right there.
Give Segura his 41st run batted in. Give the Brewers a run. Reds still lead by a pair. Bruce gets the assist. Now it's Lucroy trying to keep his hitting streak alive. A career best 11. He has struck out and flied out. It's only the It's the 7th assist of the year for Jay Bruce. The leaders are right around 10 or so, so he's done a nice job. I just remember that series out in Colorado when Drew Stubbs, a former teammate of Jay's, singled into right just to Jay's left and tried to stretch it into a double. Like, if anybody would know the arm strength of Bruce, it would be Stubbs. And I mean, Bruce gunned him down by 30 feet. Backhand pick and throw, and the inning is over. Brewers get a couple of hits. Bruce gets an assist in the outfield. Milwaukee settles for 1. Strongest fan photo. Use hashtag Ohio Data Strong Fan. Might just see yourself in an upcoming Reds broadcast. It's all brought to you by T-Mobile. Again, that hashtag Ohio Data Strong Fan. Give us your fan photo. Big fireworks show coming up Sunday. Annual Labor Day fireworks show here in Cincinnati. Boats along the river getting ready. Bruce leads things off here in the bottom of the 5th. He's had a hit today, scored a run, had an outfield assist. So far, pretty good day for Jay. And this the 133rd game of the year for the Reds. Amazing numbers right here for Garza. 348 average against opponents leading off an inning, the worst in the National League. Votto next, then Phillips here in the home 5th. 3-1 Cincinnati. Trying to pull even with this Milwaukee team this year in terms of season series. Let's start the day behind this Milwaukee club by 2.5 games. Milwaukee 58-75. Reds 55-77. 2.5 behind Milwaukee. Trying to avoid finishing in the cellar of the NL Central. Both teams coming into this series on a bit of a high note. The Reds took 2 out of 3 in Chicago, marking their first road series win since they took 2 out of 3 against the Cardinals at the end of July. It's been a little over a month since they won a road series. In fact, they did not win a series at all, home or road, in the month of August. Brewers, they swept Pittsburgh at home for the second time this year. They come off a 5-1 homestand and a 4-game winning streak into this game, their longest since the break.
And they're doing it with a team that they're taking a lot of look at some young players in different positions. And they're really forced to, because this is a rebuilding team for the Milwaukee Brewers, really from the front office on down. They've already indicated that their general manager, Doug Melvin, will move upstairs into some kind of a consulting role to the president of the ball club. They're actively looking right now for a general manager. And this is what they have done recently, and one reason why the Reds are looking up at the Brewers in the standings right now.
Well, really, since right before the All-Star break, they have dumped, and I say dumped, they've traded away veterans like Aramis Ramirez. Talked about him going to Pittsburgh. Carlos Gomez, Mike Fiers to Houston. Jonathan Broxton, whom they acquired from the Reds last year. They shipped him off to St. Louis. Gerardo Parra, 2-time Gold Glove winner, goes to Baltimore. And yet, really, since the break, they've been able to play almost, not quite, but almost 500 baseball. 20-23 since the break for this Milwaukee team, and that's what has propelled them by the Reds and into fourth.
Every once in a while, Joey Votto takes a swing like he's trying to hit a ball into the next state. And then you see the home run swings that he has, and they're relatively under control.
Like that one on Wednesday in Chicago.
Yeah.
And that was a huge one, wasn't it? I mean, that was just a huge hit for Votto, a huge hit for the Reds in that game. Bring their closer in there.
Well, and there was a lot of excitement at Wrigley Field. I mean, they're pumped up about the Cubs.
Yeah.
Heading to the playoffs, at least it appears that way. And, you know, the Reds, it made the Reds feel good about themselves to come in and beat a contender. They'll have plenty of opportunity between now and the end of this baseball season to do that. They're playing a lot of teams that are playing for something right now.
Here's what we're talking about Wednesday. The big home run by Votto against Rondon in the 9th inning to break a 4-4 tie.
I mean, he's their closer.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's some middle reliever out there that he's beating up on. I mean, he is the best the Cubs have to offer.
Remember, that came on the heels of the 2-run homer hit by Chris Bryant in the bottom of the 8th against Hoover to tie the game. And it was an error then by Bryant, and the ball hit by Bruce in the 9th inning that allowed Votto to come to the plate. Boy, did he take advantage. Walks for the second time here, so it's 2 on with nobody out. Garza 3 walks per 9, a little bit more than that. Highest for him since '09. Innings pitched to hits has been off this year for him. Also last year he was 20 under hits per inning. This year he is basically 20 plus over hits per innings pitched. Bruce out at second, Votto at first, nobody out. Reds trying to add to a 3-1 lead here in the home 5th inning. First game of a split doubleheader today between these two teams due to the rain out here last night. We had like an hour and 38 minutes or so of rain delay last night. The Reds have now endured over 27 hours of rain delays this year. Herrera gets to the ball, bobbles the ball, no play. His only play on that was probably to first base.
Well, he's figuring if he can come up right away and have a control of it. He does have a man at second base, and then if he is able to get the feel on the second attempt, he's going to get Brandon Phillips at first base, but he evidently didn't have a good grip on it. So a couple of walks, an infield hit. I presume that's a hit.
It was.
And now you've got the bases juiced for Joey or for Todd Frazier, who is mightily overdue.
Frazier now, pardon me, Phillips now been on 3 times today, a walk and a couple of hits. Big chance for the Reds. Put some major distance between themselves and this Milwaukee club. As you're wondering, yes, Frazier does have a grand slam this year. In fact, one of them against Milwaukee. He's hit 2 this year, 1 against the Brewers, 1 against the Tigers. Gets it into center. Santana will make the play. Running from third will tag and come to the plate. That is Bruce. He will score as Rogers cuts that ball off. Give Frazier RBI 78. Bruce scores. Back to a 3-run lead at 4-1 Reds.
That's the very least that you want out of that situation, is a fly ball into the outfield to score a run. And when you're ahead, you're just adding one more, and just trying to eventually get into a comfort zone. 3 runs right now, not a comfort zone. Neither is 85 pitches for Matt Garza.
Here's Schumacher. Today a hit in the ground out against the right-hander Garza. Garza fell behind 2-0, gets 2 in there, taken by Schumacher, so now 2-2. rung up by Jerry Davis. Second strikeout by Garza.
Schumacher so surprised. He was going into his practice swing, so certain that ball was. Watch him at the very end of this. He's going to start a little practice swing right here, thinking, oh, I'm going to be back for another pitch. Jerry Davis says, nope, you're not going to get another pitch until your next at bat.
So first 3 reached, next 2 retired. And if this is to be a big inning, it rests on the shoulders of Eugenio Suarez. Single and a double and a run batted in so far today for Suarez. Pushing that 290 mark again. Talked about it before, but Suarez used to be a switch hitter. Gave it up 2 years ago. I asked him about his approach, left-handed versus right. He said, totally different. I don't look anything like this when I used to hit from the left side. More of a slap hitter.
It's interesting you bring that up, because Billy Hamilton, if he hasn't rejoined the team yet, he will in the next couple of days. And he's a guy that they have had some conversation about, you know, forgetting about hitting left-handed. You know, he's a switch hitter now and going only to right-handed. But I think these are 2 completely different circumstances between Suarez and Hamilton, and they're completely different types of hitters. I never envisioned Billy Hamilton to be the kind of guy that Suarez is, as far as gap power, home run power if you leave a pitch up. I like the idea of Hamilton going up there and kind of slapping the ball, a la Vince Coleman, Willie McGee, Brett Butler.
Hit hard by Suarez to left. Here comes Votto to the plate. And a 2-run inning. Nice day for Eugenio Suarez. 3 for 3 with a couple of runs batted in. And it is now 5-1 Reds.
Tell you what, you talk about some damage at the bottom of the order. Suarez seems to give it to you on a every other day basis. I mean, gets his leg up, foot down, in time, hands back, and just a sweet swing. Man, that kid can hit.
Reds are now 4 for 11 in this game with runners in scoring position. Great Counsell to the mound. Matt Garza has thrown his last pitch. His 96th turns out to be the end of the line for him here on this Saturday afternoon. Brewers will make a pitching change. Our Skyline Chili call to the bullpen.
Cincinnati Reds. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Pitching change for Milwaukee. The Reds knocked Matt Garza, who lasted just 3 2/3 his last time out, and also was against Cincinnati. He goes but 4 2/3 in this game, and the new pitcher into the contest is the rookie David Goforth.
Well, he's 26 years old, he is, and he is from the same college where Zach Kozar did his collegiate work at the University of Mississippi, Oxford. 7th round pick in 2011. First year in the major leagues for Goforth, and his 11th game overall.
He gets Barnhart with 2 on, 2 out, 2 in.
I mean, Brandon Phillips had a lead about halfway to downtown before Segura finally came over to try to shorten him up a little bit. You know, it may not even occur to Brandon Phillips that he's going to steal right here, but if you get that big of a lead, there's something about it as a pitcher, especially a young pitcher. It gets in your head a little bit. And if he was smart, Goforth wouldn't even pay attention to it. The whole idea is to distract the pitcher, and he does that to a wild pitch, and he moves up to third base.
Yeah, Lucroy stopped that ball
somehow,
but the ball stayed at the plate area. His momentum carried him 2 or 3 steps away, and Phillips heads up, took advantage of it.
Oh, actually, he didn't stop it. He got an assist from the home plate umpire, Jerry Davis, on that.
He sure did.
That's why umpires wear steel-toed shoes.
Wild pitch on Goforth. Phillips moves up. Suarez stayed put. Double play still. Actually, there are 2 out. Force out at second still in play. Barnhart this afternoon 0 for 2. Goforth gets the strikeout. He comes on, gets the final out in the bottom of the 5th, but more damage done by the Reds. They now lead it 5-1. Appreciation Night. Arrive early for special pregame ceremonies, plus then stick around after the game for a post-game fireworks show presented by Corson Fire and Security. Tickets start as low as $12. You can get them by calling 513-381-REDS, visiting select Kroger locations, or you can go to reds.com/tickets. That's Friday, September the 11th. We'll salute our heroes on Police and Fire Appreciation Night.
Aren't you Mr. Corson Fire and Security? Isn't that the company that you're the front man for?
Well, I do some commercial work for them, and
very good.
They're a media man.
You need to get them in the television fold.
They just were.
Where they really get some exposure.
Yeah. They're out of Indianapolis.
Well, a nice momentum inning coming up here for Lamb, because the Reds score 2 in the bottom of the inning, the 5th. You come into the 6th. Third time around now for Brewers to see Lamb.
Four starts he's made for the Reds this year. Twice he's gone 6. So if he can get through this, it'll equal his longest outing of the year as a big leaguer. We're on a walk and a double against Lamb today. Still looking for is Lamb that elusive first big league win. Left a game with a lead against Arizona, a blown save behind him. Lost twice to the Dodgers. Lost to this Milwaukee club despite pitching very well up there last Sunday. Left with a 2-1 deficit, ended up being a 4-1 final. Bruce charging, Phillips out. Phillips couldn't quite get it. That's a tweener right there by Ryan Braun. And he is on for the 3rd time today.
Phillips went a long way for that ball. I mean, by the time he ends up stopping completely, he's out near the warning track. Of course, you're playing a little bit deep anyway with Ryan Braun at the plate, and that is a tweener.
But for the 3rd consecutive inning, the Brewers put the leadoff man on. Did it in the 4th, did not score. Did it last inning, did score 1. Do it here in the 6th. Powering fly ball into left center by Davis. Schumacher handles it.
Really efficient so far for John Lamb, only in the low 80s with the number of pitches. He's throwing a lot of strikes. He's forcing the Brewers to put the ball in play. He's throwing a lot of pitches out of the stretch position. But, you know, in talking to John Lamb, for a guy who's 25 and really doesn't have all that much major league experience, he's got a real good feel of what he wants to do on the mound from a standpoint of his own delivery. And that's the biggest thing for a pitcher to know. It's like a golfer needs to know his own swing, so you make adjustments on the fly out on the golf course. Same way with a pitcher on the mound. You make a little adjustment almost after every pitch. And one of the adjustments he made in his last start has to do with his front leg. We talked about it a little bit when we were in Milwaukee. He gets that right leg of his out and he straightens it, and it slows his body down just a hair so that his arm can catch up, and it keeps him over the pitching rubber a little bit more. You see how he kind of brings his knee up and then he straightens his leg out completely? He does that out of both the full windup and the stretch. And if you watch big league pitchers, there are a lot of guys that do the same thing. And I call it buying time. You buy time so the arm and your arm swing can catch up and get behind your throwing gear. A lot of young pitchers, they bring their leg up and then they swing their knee open like a gate. And as soon as you open your knee like that, your hips are open and you lose all your power. The move to first needs a little work, but that'll come.
approaching 90 pitches. Twice in the 4 starts this year with the Reds, he's gone over 100. Will it hang up? Schumacher cannot get there. Now the ball goes by him, and that's going to allow Braun to go to third. That'll be a hit by Rogers, an error on Schumacher, and it's first and third with 1 out.
That's some real tough luck for John Lamb out there on a couple of bloop balls in the inning. And then a misplay by Schumacher. For some reason, Skip wants to barehand this ball. There's no really attempt by the lead runner, Ryan Braun, to go to third base. He thinks it's going to hop right up to him and doesn't. And when you got a big glove out there the size of an outfielder's mitt, it's always best to use it.
So for the first time this afternoon, Jeff Pico, pitching coach of the Reds, will trot to the mound, and the 3 of them will talk things over. In the second game of this split doubleheader, you will not see here on Fox. We have the UC Bearcats against Alabama A&M coming up tonight, beginning at 7. Reds baseball tomorrow. You can catch the Reds' second game though on MLB.TV Premium. You can watch every out-of-market game live on more than 400 supported devices. Get real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and more. Visit MLB.TV today. You really want to watch that second game? That's where you can go. I think Chris and I will be back with the whole crew tomorrow for the 1:10 game. Domingo Santana to third. Frazier dives, cannot come up with it. Braun will score. RBI single for Santana. And that's 4-2.
Well, you talk about some seeing eye hits in this inning. I mean, you know, the only thing that John Lamb can continue to do is go up there and make good pitches. You can't make better ones thinking that they're going to finally hit the ball at somebody. The 5.5 hole just beyond the glove of Frazier.
Yeah, you're an inch away from all 3. Well, maybe not the second hit, but 2 of the 3 being out.
Right, and what the key is here, don't make a mistake because you're frustrated. You still have a 3-run lead.
This one should be out. No, it falls in front of Schumacher for a base hit. And the bases are loaded. I thought he was tracking that ball to catch that thing, but it fell in front.
Well, you know, you talk to a lot of outfielders that play here during the daytime, and that, I know the sun's not exactly right in his eyes. It's not that late in the afternoon yet, but it's a very difficult thing to see that ball come off the bat here during the day. You lose it in the stands. You've got red seats. You've got white shirts. And there's not a lot of background for you, so it's hard to get a good jump, and outfielders are very timid about it because they don't want to make a jump on a ball and then realize the ball's going over their head. So you see them play more conservative than not. No harm, no foul right there, but you got bases loaded.
So Lamb had given up 4 hits in the first 5 innings. He's given up 4 hits here. Now we'll get Elian Herrera, the second baseman, with him loaded and 1 out. Still a double play gets him through this inning. Herrera a double his last time. He's 1 for 2. Batting here with the bases loaded. Remember, he had a grand slam against the Reds earlier this year against Burt Badenhop in Milwaukee. That was the 3 grand slam game back on the 21st of April. First of his career. I think it was a 3 grand slam day. Yeah, Bruce hit 1, Frazier hit 1, Herrera hit 1. in that game. Phillips, his only play is to first. Run scores. Been a 2-run inning. It's now 5-3. Reds still in front. Credit Herrera with RBI 26. Everybody moves up as Rogers scores. Santana now over to third, and Perez the tying run at second. Go forth will be lifted for a pinch hitter here. Adam Lind, their regular first baseman, the former Blue Jay, will bat for Goforth.
Kind of an interesting move. You don't normally see a left-handed hitter inserted as a pinch hitter to face a left-handed starter. Lind has been swinging the bat really well, though. And he's been a dangerous hitter, especially against the Reds.
Naturally, you wonder about the splits of Lind. He's hitting .304 against right-handers, .220 against lefties this year. Overall in the year, a very fine .287 with 18 home runs, 75 runs batted in, 2 for 5 off the bench.
He absolutely killed the Reds. .391, 4 home runs, and 14 runs batted in.
Puts a charge into this ball to center. Bourgeois back. Bourgeois still going back. Bourgeois can't get it. It's off the wall. This game is tied on a 2-run pinch hit double by Adam Lind to center. The Brewers have come up with 4 here in the 6th. Bourgeois took a step in, it looked like, but still appeared to have a beat on that ball as he approached the wall.
Well, John Lamb can't believe it. I mean, he's thinking when this ball comes off the bat, fly ball to center field, right? Can of corn. Look at the trajectory. It goes straight up in the air. But the thermals are working here at Great American Ballpark. I mean, it just takes it farther and farther. Bourgeois can't believe it. He gets all turned around and what a very unfortunate inning for John Lamb.
You know, it seems like one inning every time out for this young man, and he leaves here in the 6th inning. The game is now even at 5. Another one of those games with John, Chris, that you say, you know what? He didn't pitch that badly at all.
Well, he didn't seem to. In this inning, things just got away from him. And maybe it's a number of circumstances beyond his control. Bad luck, call him what you want. But the bottom line is he's given up 5 runs here in 5 2/3 innings. And Sam McCure will come in and try to save that 6th run from scoring.
That is the pinch hitter, Adam Lind, who doubles in 2 runs, batting for Goforth, tying this game, getting Matt Garza off the hook, having allowed 5 runs, 7 hits, and 4 2/3. And once again, John Lamb will not come up with his first big league win here this afternoon. Up the middle, that's a hit. They will wave Lind home. Bourgeois comes up throwing. Throw is way off line. Milwaukee has plated 5 in the 6th, and they now lead for the first time this afternoon at 6-5.
Well, we've told you many times this afternoon how the Milwaukee Brewers have offensively really gotten it going. And Segura has hit the ball well all day long. 2 superlative plays by Todd Frazier at third base. So the only reason why this guy doesn't have 4 hits on the day.
John Lamb gives up 6 runs, 9 hits, and 5 2/3. After looking like he was thoroughly in control of this game through 5. He had the hit to right by Braun. He had the hit to left by Rogers. The hit by Santana, the hit by Perez, all of which looked like they could be possibly outs. None of which turned into be outs. Milwaukee a little uprising here. Much to the chagrin of that man, John Lamb, the Reds starting pitcher. Ninth man to bat in the inning is Lucroy. He's 0 for 3 today. Runner going. Ball to center. Bourgeois. Bourgeois got there. That ends the inning, but the Brewers hit around. They score 5 times. Now have the lead.
Sunday. Take advantage of exclusive ticket offers and enjoy face painting, live mascot races, games, and more. Plus, kids 14 and younger will receive a Todd Frazier poster thanks to Tri-County Mall. For tickets, call 513-381-REDS. Visit select Kroger locations or log on to reds.com/family. I'm Jim Day. We told you yesterday that Billy Hamilton, if he made it through a full day of taking batting practice with the team and doing all the baseball activities, the Reds wanted to get him out on a rehab assignment before the minor league season ends. That's exactly what they did. This is video of him yesterday going through the motions. And Billy Hamilton is off to Pensacola. Their season ends on Monday, so it will be a 3-game stint for him at AA Pensacola. At the same time, Brennan Bosch is also off to Louisville. Their season ends Monday. He's coming back from taking that foul ball off the foot, a deep bone bruise. So each, they say, will be down there for those 3 games. And then obviously both on the 40-man roster, they will be back with the big club. And we'll see how Hamilton, if he reemerges as the everyday guy in center field. We imagine he is, but where will he hit in the lineup? Brian Price before the game today said most likely still hitting 9th.
Well, all right, so that's at least part of the expansion of this roster. Next week for the Redlegs team, they brought up 2, a pitcher and an everyday player. When the rosters expanded, bringing up a catcher for the first time in his career to the big leagues, Ramon Cabrera, and also bringing back Carlos Contreras. Meanwhile, here the Reds send up a pinch hitter, Adam Duvall, to face the new Milwaukee pitcher, Cesar Jimenez. What a Reds debut for Duvall in Chicago.
Well, what of every time a debut for Duvall. If you go back to the beginning of his major league career, his first major league at bat, right, against Mike Leake, was his first hit.
First home run.
First home run what came against Mike Leake.
Right.
It was a member of the Giants. And then when he made his major league or his AAA debut for the Louisville Bats, his first at bat went for a home run with the Bats. And then he steps up as a member of the Reds. What does he do? It's a home run.
He has a flair for the dramatic.
So I don't know how his career goes after his first at bat, but he's off to a pretty good start so far. And I'm really interested in seeing some playing time out of Duvall because he's got very interesting AAA numbers. He's got some power. Very powerfully built young man. Grew up in Louisville, went to the University of Louisville, played for the Cardinals.
Brian Price was asked today in his media meeting prior to the game about Duvall possibly playing some left field up here, and his answer was a little vague in that he basically said, well, we're going to try to get him in there. We're playing a lot of contenders. We want to see what these young guys can do, but we want to play Schumacher. We want to play DeJesus. So it was a little confusing as to what he was saying about Duvall.
I don't think there was any confusion at all. It sounded like he didn't want to play him.
Yeah.
He was not experienced in left field, although neither have been Ivan DeJesus, Kyle Schwarber, if you want to go that far and talk about other players that have been experimenting by their managers in left field for the first time. You know, I asked Duvall the other day when he came up in Chicago, I said, well, what are your positions according to how comfortable you feel? He said first base first, then third base, and then left field.
And as you said, he did play a decent amount of left field when he came over to the Reds down at Louisville.
I mean, the Reds have obviously a commitment to Major League Baseball, to play the best team you can and try to win every game you possibly can, especially when you're playing against a team that is in the hunt, like the Cubs, like the Pirates coming up. But when you have another last place team, not last place anymore, fourth place team coming into town like the Milwaukee Brewers, I mean, you're free to take a look at some players that may mean something to you for next year. If you decide to do so, that's entirely up to Brian Price.
Bourgeois to center, long run Santana. He got there right in front of the Reds bullpen. Hit hard by Jason, but caught by Santana. I guess my confusion came with that in that he had said we want to see what some of these young guys could do, but then he turned around and said he didn't think that Duvall would play.
Exactly. More contradiction than confusion.
Okay. The 2 out. Here's Bruce. Reds went down in order in the first, have not done so since that time. First two down here in the 6th.
I mean, at the same time, you know, you consider, well, hey, maybe you should play your best team against the Milwaukee Brewers. After all, they're ahead of you, and you don't want to finish in last place. I mean, you don't want to be a manager that has that notation next to his name in 2015 that you manage the last place club. I mean, already the Reds have been the first team eliminated from the playoffs in all of Major League Baseball, mainly because of their bad season, coupled with the fact that the Cardinals are having the best year of anybody in baseball. So you do want to win these games, each and every one of them, and you manage like you want to win them. I don't think anybody wants to pay money to come to a ballpark and see a team essentially all they do is audition players out there. That's not what big league baseball is about. It's what happens at the end of the day, W or L. And he has not seen nearly enough W's.
Well, they got through that terrible month of August. They won only 8 games. It's the fewest games they've won in a month since they won 6 in May of 2001. That's a long time ago.
That was a bad month. Or you go back to that 2001 team that you're talking about that had won 6 games the entire month of May, managed by Bob Boone. The team ended up in 66 and 96. They had some pretty good players on that team, much like this team does. Jason LaRue was a catcher, Sean Casey at first, Todd Walker played second, Pokey Reese at short, Aaron Boone at third, Demetriou Young, Ken Griffey, and Alex Ochoa in the outfield. So it's seemingly, I mean, the everyday players seem to be a pretty good on-paper team.
Well, that was just 2 years removed from that exciting 1999 team that played that extra regular season game to try to get into the wild card spot against the Mets. We should clarify, Chris, what you said about being eliminated from postseason contention. The Reds can no longer mathematically win the Central. Mathematically, they're still alive in the wild card, but realistically, it's not going to happen. Day for Eugenio Suarez, an RBI single in the second inning that gave the Reds a 2-0 lead at the time, with Phillips touching the plate. Suarez later on gets home a run in the 5th inning on that base hit, scoring Joey Votto. So a big day for Suarez, 3 for 3 with a couple RBIs, but it was Milwaukee and their 5-run 6th inning, highlighted by that 2-run pinch hit double by Adam Lind, that put Milwaukee over the top. RBI single here by Segura, scores Lind with a go-ahead run. So from a 5-1 Reds lead to a 6-5 Reds deficit, thanks to that 5-run 6th by Milwaukee, all part of today's Honda game summary. New pitcher on for the Reds. Meanwhile, their third of the game is Burke Badenhop.
The Hopper coming in the game for the 57th time this year. That's about as many times as you would expect him to pitch in a season. Often used rubber arm. He's well traveled. He's been around a long time in a lot of different major league teams. And after a first month, it was very dismal, not only for him, but a lot of the Reds relievers. He has put together a solid season.
70 appearances last year is career high. You mentioned 57 now this year.
I should say he's on pace for a normal Burke Badenhop year.
Yeah.
Kind of a nervous Jervis on the mound, though. He just never really stands still.
All part of the Hopper persona.
Boy, you like that, don't you? 1 pitch, 1 out against Ryan Braun.
Braun has been on 3 times. They get him to start the 7th. Talked about Badenhop, and Chris mentioned the tough start he had. Since then, since April, a 2.39 ERA. After a tough early month.
Hey, you better be pretty nimble if you're a cameraman trying to get a close-up of Burke Badenhop, because he's twitching and moving and shaking, and I mean, look up there. There you go. He'll get you. Solid guy, and he's a solid guy in the Reds clubhouse. And he knew as much as anybody on his ball club that he was just stinking up the whole month of April, and kept battling at it and kept battling at it, and just the way it goes.
Spent 2013 with the Brewers, and he gets the 2nd out of the 7th on that pop up there by Davis. Make sure you're ready for Reds action 30 minutes before most every game with Reds Live on Fox Sports Ohio. Reds Live pregame presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing reminds us to tell you that tomorrow no Reds Live prior to the game will come on straight up at 1 o'clock. Chris and I will be with you for the 1:10 game. Jim Day, as usual, will be down on the field. We will have our Reds Live post game both today and tomorrow, but no broadcast of the 2nd game today due to UC football. Brewers have gone down in order only once in this game. That was back in the 3rd. Badenhop trying to do it here in the 7th. The Cure, 1/3 of an inning, 1 hit. Pitchers of record, John Lamb, and how about it, David Goforth. We threw to 1 batter. Barnard struck him out in the 5th. He's the pitcher of record on the Milwaukee side. Second game pitchers today. Kivas Sampson will go for the Reds against right-hander Willie Peralta of Milwaukee. And And tomorrow in the finale, Michael Lorenzen, his second start since returning from Louisville, against 11-game winner Jimmy Nelson of the Brewers. Reds then have the Pirates in town Monday afternoon. Tuesday, Wednesday night. Cardinals Thursday through Sunday. And then that final long road trip. 9-gamer, San Francisco, Milwaukee, St. Louis. Solid contact there by Jason Rogers. That is hit number 11 for Milwaukee. 2 of them today for Rogers, playing first base. Now this Milwaukee team has slowly changed over their outfield, with Braun being the only guy that's been the steady man there. They had Aoki a couple of years ago. He went to Kansas City, now San Francisco. They had Braun out in left, moved him over to right to make room for Davis. Gomez was their steady man in center. He's now gone to Houston. This fellow, Domingo Santana, getting a shot at the center field spot. Moved out Ricky Weeks a couple of years ago to make way for Scooter Gennett. They figure to play in the second game today.
Kind of an interesting story on the hitter Domingo Santana, who was born in the Dominican Republic, but actually spent most of his youth on the island of St. Thomas, where his brothers and sisters were. His father moved there after a short minor league career, which coincidentally started with the Houston Astros also. That's where Santana was traded from before he came over here to the Brewers. And then after his first year of high school, he went back to the Dominican Republic, and they really embraced baseball, and eventually signed that contract with the Brewers. Still makes his wintertime home in that beautiful island. You ever been to the Virgin Islands?
I have, actually.
Not a lot of baseball there, but there are some beautiful beaches.
A lot of things going on down there. Walk is the third given up by the Reds. Badenhop had a chance to have a perfect inning. Given up a hit and a walk since then, and we'll deal with Hernan Perez. And now, speaking of, it'll be Scooter Gennett who will come off the bench and bat here for Perez. Gennett was in the original starting lineup for last night's game against the right-hander Kivas Sampson. Scratched in this game when the Reds switched up and brought John Lamb to start the first game. Now Gennett bats with 2 on, 2 out.
Now you may think, well, maybe Scooter Gennett, is that a given name at birth? Young man was actually born in Cincinnati, and he was troubling his mom by continuing to unclick his car seat when he was about 4 years old. His mom was going to teach him a lesson, so she had a policeman come up to reprimand him about unclicking his car seat. And a policeman said, well, what is your name? And he said Scooter, because of his love for the Muppets. And the name stuck. From then on, he has been Scooter Gennett.
His given name is?
That's a good question. I'm looking around for it right now. Maybe he's legally changed it.
It's always possible.
Like Ocho Cinco. You didn't think we were going to work that name in to the broadcast, did you?
I did not. I'll give you that.
Given name is Ryan.
Ryan Joseph Gennett.
I like Scooter. Good kid. One of those many major leaguers that have come back here. Not only he was born in Cincinnati, but has some connection as an amateur baseball player in Cincinnati. One time played for the Midland Redskins and Brian Hyler over there on the east side of Cincinnati. Too close to take, Scooter.
Now these runners will be on the move here now, 3-2 with 2 out. To the mound, knocked down, controlled by Baden Hop. And the Brewers' opportunity to score in the 7th goes by the wayside. They leave a pair and have stranded 7. Stretch time here in Cincinnati. Reds down a run. Christine Sheltrown and Mo Egger from 700 WOW at the Holy Grail. Your chance to answer Reds trivia, win prizes, be part of Reds Live. Fun gets started on Friday night at 6 at the Holy Grail. Say hi to Christine, say hi to Mo, and be part Reds trivia. Changes aplenty for Milwaukee. We'll pass those along when they all become clear. Meanwhile, new pitcher on, we know. Jeremy Jeffress comes on as the 4th Milwaukee pitcher of the afternoon. Cesar Jimenez does his job, winning a perfect work, and Jeffress now 61st appearance of the year for him. He's had a fine year, a 2.63 ERA for Jeffress. Scooter Gennett takes over at second base after pinch hitting. Herrera moves over to third. Perez out of the game. Elian Herrera, pardon me, goes to center field. All right, Schaefer's in center. Votto, we know this, leads it off against Jeffress. Reds down a run, 6-5, batting here in the bottom of the 7th. Joey today 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. There's a hit for Votto. Reds get the leadoff man on. Schaefer slipped going for that ball, but gets it back in. So Votto extends his hitting streak now to 7 games.
Well, every time he has swung the bats today and made contact, he has hit the ball hard. He lined out his first time up right to the second baseman, 3rd out of the 1st inning. And he walked a couple of times, came around to score, and that ringing line drive nearly clipped the second base umpire.
Here's Phillips. He has reached base now in 6 straight plate appearances going back to the Cubs game today. 3 times a walk, a single, 3 straight singles his last 3 times up on Wednesday against the Cubs. For Phillips, 7 times in a row. He's been up 7 times in a row. He has reached base. 6 of those times with hits. The Reds mount a little rally here in the bottom of the 8th. 2 on with nobody out against Jeffress.
Now that's an impressive at bat for Phillips, not only because he got a base hit to right field, a sharp line drive, but because on the very first pitch, Jeffress came way inside on him trying to buy that outside corner, but Phillips stays right on it. Tough guy to intimidate.
Frazier today is 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. Now Lucroy will go to the mound to talk with Jeffress. Far and away the most appearances that this 27-year-old has had in his career. A career that started in the Brewers organization as a 1st-round pick back in 06. Took him to Kansas City and Toronto. Finally came back to Milwaukee last year. Impressive late in the year with a 1.88 ERA in 29 games, and has been very good out of the bullpen for them this year. Solid hit into left. Rado was going back towards second. He will make it to 3rd. Hit. Bases loaded, nobody out in the bottom of the 7th.
Now the first really solid contact for Frazier on the day. Had an RBI on a sacrifice fly his last time. Stays right down on that pitch. That's not bad location by Jeffress at all. But rocketed by the 3rd baseman. Boy, that ball's not right at the 3rd baseman. He doesn't snag it, and it goes in the left field. So now the Reds are mounting the rally. Maybe trying to answer to that 5-run 6th the Brewers put on them. Hey, you know, while we're talking here, we got a trip to the mound. Rick Kranitz is the pitching coach. You know, this is, what are they calling it? not is it Redstober?
Redstoberfest.
Redstoberfest. Well, you may not know this, but there is an active league of 15 teams at the top level playing Germany currently, playing baseball in Germany.
I did not know that.
And actually, they're in their playoffs right now. They've whittled it down to the last 4. They're calling it baseball Bundesliga, which I'm sure that, or Bundesliga. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Of course, Donald Lutz, former Reds major leaguer, born in Germany. So maybe Schumacher
You're
come up
full
and
of
get a hit
information today. Where do you come up with all this stuff?
I do a lot of research.
You just store all this in the back of your head until you need it. And you call
If you
it
look
up.
at my scorecard, there's nothing on it. It's got to be in there somewhere.
Yeah.
The hard drive is slowing down a little bit.
Wouldn't notice it. Borderline strike to Schumacher. In case you're wondering, skipped 2 for 4 this year with the bases loaded. Big chance here for the Reds, who led 5-1 after 5, trail 6-5 now thanks to a 5-run sixth by the Brewers, but have a golden opportunity here to reclaim the lead.
Well, this is one of those opportunities that if you're Skip Schumacher, you've been praying that you get in the dugout. Nabbed with an error earlier in the game, a ball that maybe was hit out to him, and on second thought, he probably thought, well, I should have had it. And now you have bases loaded, nobody out, 1-run game, a chance to, at the very minimum, put the Reds up with a fly ball to the outfield or tie it up.
To the second baseman, Jeanette, Segura, Rogers, double play, but Votto will score. The game is tied 6-6. So while Schumacher does not come up with a hit, the Reds do get the tying run across. And that'll be up to the hot-hitting Suarez, who's already had 3 hits today, to come up with something here, get Phillips home, and give the Reds the lead again. Single, double, single. Couple of RBIs for Suarez on the day. Quickly in the hole.
Got to correct something I had mentioned, and you can't say anything wrong over there nowadays. I got corrected with the text that Donald Lutz was actually born in Watertown, New York, not Germany, but he was raised in Germany.
Right.
Thank you, Glenn.
Suarez looking to come up with his first 4-hit game of the year. Jeanette, inning over. Boy, oh boy, Reds had him loaded with nobody out. They get a run. They tie the game as we head to the 8th. went down on both sides today. First it was the Reds who had the early advantage at 5-1. Then it was the Brewers. Came up with a 5 spot in the 6th inning to take a 6-5 lead. And the Reds pushed the tying run across in the bottom of the 7th on a double play ball hit into by Schumacher. So now we are 6-6 into the 8th. And the 8th inning man is ready to go. J.J. Hoover.
J.J. getting a lot of work, you can see this year, and that record is tremendous for J.J. this year after having gone 1-10 last year. Has put together a very fine season, a 202 earned run average, low opponent batting average. Normally comes into a ball game in the 8th inning when the Reds are winning. But they'll take their chances here as Hoover pitches the 8th of a tied game, 6-6.
You will get 8, 9, and 1. That means Herrera and then Logan Schaefer, who's in the 9 spot, who took over in center field. Drive to right. Bruce going back.
That didn't take long.
Home run. 6th of the year for Elian Herrera. First batter of the 8th against J.J. Hoover. And Milwaukee regains the lead at 7-6.
Boy, all the sweating and digging the Reds did for 1 run in the 7th inning. 3 base hits in a row, a ground ball double play, and a pop out was the inning. And just like that, on a first pitch get ahead fastball, bye bye, says Herrera. And the Brewers have taken the lead.
Now it's Logan Schaefer.
Well, if nothing else, the folks here at Great American Ballpark this afternoon on Redstoberfest have been treated to a seesaw type of a game. It's like a throwback game. A game like that 2001 Reds team would have played.
If this were a playoff game, it would be thrill upon thrill, wouldn't it?
Be a lot more crowded too.
True. So J.J. Hoover gives up 1 run in the month of August. In 12 appearances. He's given up 3 runs now in 2 games in the month of September. He was the winning pitcher on Wednesday despite giving up that home run ball to Chris Bryant. Now it's touched up here by Herrera. Now that ball hits the foot of Schaefer. He is awarded first base.
Oh. Getting beat up again. That one looked like it went off his hand. Never got his hand, but it went off his glove and then the shoulder. Now Tucker does have that little pad you see on covering his right shoulder. That's a spot that is left uncovered by the equipment that Brian Pena uses. We saw him get a foul ball right off that shoulder joint where the arm connects to the torso, and boy, it was sore for a few days for Brian Pena. Not a whole lot of protection now when a guy is throwing in the mid-90s.
Barnhart does leave that right hand exposed, though, doesn't he? When
yeah, he does. A lot of guys are holding that ball or holding their hand behind them, released down by their leg.
Schaefer took off, changed his mind, hustles back.
I wonder if that was a hit and run, because he got a bad break on that. And it was an awkward swing by Segura.
He was looking back at the plate.
haven't seen that play very much. The hit, run, stop, turn around, and go back.
Maybe the first time this year. Maybe. Was going on that 3-2 pitch. Hoover walks Segura, so the normally very reliable Hoover has come on and allowed the first 3 to reach. Here comes Jeff Pico. Well, now you're getting to the big bats of this order with Lucroy and Braun and Davis. Lucroy an opportunity when he comes up there to extend his hitting streak, which is at 11.
You just wonder if maybe the games and the innings over the years are maybe beginning up to catch up with J.J. Hoover a little bit this time of year. I mean, for the 3rd season in a row now, he will pitch probably, you know, he only had 55 games last year. And mainly because he didn't have a good year. But, I mean, he had 69 games the year before that, 66 innings. He did throw 62 innings last year in 54 games. Here he is in his 61st game this year and very close to 60 innings again. That's a heavy year to year workload for a pitcher. And oftentimes you see a drop off. And he's got 2 tough customers coming up.
Colin Ballister, right-hander, throwing in the Cincinnati bullpen. Count now to Lucroy. He struck out, flied out, grounded out, and lined out. In fact, he sent Bourgeois to the wall in the 6th inning. Part of that 5-run frame. Hoover with that perfect 7-0 record is the pitcher of record now for Cincinnati. Trying to get some outs here in the top of the 8th. Not in time at second base. Trying to get the runner out there, Schaefer. Logan got back in time. Lucroy is 0 for 5 as he lines out to Votto.
Pretty nice play by Votto. I mean, not catching the ball because the ball found him, but I mean, he looked around, realized there was no play on the guy at first base, but he thought that maybe the runner at second base had come off the bag a little bit. He throws flat-footed right there and throws it on the money, leading Suarez over the bag. It turned out to be a pretty close play. Of course, if that ball goes into left field, you put an extra insurance run over at third base. But I think it's worth a try right there to get a double play, especially with Ryan Braun coming up.
2 for 3 today for Braun without an RBI, stolen a couple of bases. Driven in 79 on the year. He also has hit into 17 double plays this year. If the Reds could get another one, keep this deficit of 1. Frazier, Phillips
right on time.
Votto, 5-4-3. You ask for it, you get it. The inning is over.
Ohio, because we're set to bring you UC as they kick off their 2015 football season tonight as the Bearcats open up against Alabama A&M at the newly renovated Nippert Stadium. The game can only be seen right here on Fox Sports Ohio starting at 7 p.m. Lots of excitement around the Bearcats program. Renovated stadium. Tommy Tuberville and the boys picked to win their conference, and we wish the Bearcats all the luck in the world.
Well, we certainly reiterate the words of Jim Day regarding the Bearcats tonight. Let's hope they can get a win in that first game. And it's been almost 2 years since they played football over at Nippert. Renovated it last year. Played at Paul Brown Stadium for their home games. Grand reopening tonight. Meanwhile, the Reds down a run again in this game at 7-6 as they bat in the bottom of the 8th against a new pitcher, Will Smith.
Well, left-hander Smith will face the bottom part of the order, be Barnhart. And then a pinch hitter looks like Ivan De Jesus.
Will Smith, a fine year this year. Second year of the Brewers. We were talking earlier about Nori Aoki, the former Brewer, went to Kansas City. Smith is who the Brewers got in return for Aoki last year. 78 appearances, led the National League. Cued to Jeanette. Barnhart 0 for 4 today is the first out here in the bottom of the 8th. Will be DeJesus Jr. who pinch hits for J.J. Hoover. Season numbers on DeJesus: 257 with 4 homers, driven in 18 as a pinch hitter this year. He is 2 for 14. Smith appeared in all 3 games last week up in Milwaukee against the Reds. Their 5th pitcher of the night. Pitchers of record right now: Jeremy Jeffress for Milwaukee, gave up a run, 3 hits in 1 inning. J.J. Hoover on the Red side, who gave up the home run ball to Herrera that started the top of the 8th. Reds trying to counter that here in the bottom of the 8th. $28,632 here for game 1 of this split doubleheader. This was, by the way, the original scheduled start time of this game. The 6:10 game tonight was the game that was added.
So the way it works, I guess the fans in the stadium right now will exit the stadium. They'll clean it up as best they can real quick, and then let the fans with the tickets from last night's ball game, who have turned them in for vouchers or tickets to be able to get into the 6:10 game.
My understanding of it.
They had to give enough time for the players to grab some grub.
Not a whole lot, though. It's already, what, almost 4:20. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning, so it's been a 3-hour-plus game.
Well, if they eat anyway like you, they'll be able to have plenty of time to fill up.
You're inferring what?
You put it away fast and furious.
Where do you come up with this stuff? Me?
Observation. I'm an analyst.
Fast and furious?
You have to do one thing fast and furious.
Fast, maybe,
Might
not
as well
furious.
be that.
I get into the lunchroom and get out.
Exactly.
Peruse all the delicacies that have been put out there day in, day out. Try to figure out which one I'm going to settle on. Bring it back in here and get busy.
So your tempo, you're saying, is a little bit more like the tempo of when the Reds and the Brewers tee it up.
No, no, no. My tempo is like a Federer tennis match. Quick.
Fast and furious.
I don't linger over it in there. Today was not one of the days that we sat around in there and were regaled by the stories of Marty Brennaman. Not today. You've been part of those before.
I have certainly been part of those, and I missed a Saturday call today.
You were knee deep in research. Tell you what we missed is the cake for Brantley's birthday. Was there cake?
You know, I don't know that.
Cake or pie? Something for the cowboy?
I would have assumed that you, being his part-time radio partner, would have figured out where that would have come from.
There may not have been one because the cowboy is not a sweets guy, minus ice cream.
And Coca-Cola.
True, but I mean cake and pie and cookies and the like, things of that nature. He doesn't go for all that.
Once you get to your sugar capacity.
And you can get there quickly with those Cokes and that ice cream that he takes in. Slapped to first, and right in the way of it there is Jason Rogers. And so the Reds go down in order in the bottom of the 8th. And by your local Toyota dealers, proud sponsor of the Cincinnati Reds. As promised earlier in the day, we'll have our Data Strong fan photo of the game. We invite you, as always, to tweet your fan photo to hashtag Ohio Data Strong Fan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming game. All brought to you by T-Mobile. Here's today's Data Strong fan of the game, Lisa, with her Reds fishing cap on. Colin Ballister is the new Reds pitcher here in the top of the 9th. Trying to keep it a 1-run game. Ballister out of Huntington Beach, California. Spent time down with the Louisville club this year. Actually was with the Indianapolis Indians, the Pirates AAA team for a while. Reds purchased him overall at AAA this year, a fine 2.21 ERA. With the Reds, his 5th time out there. Peters.
It's really, to me, kind of interesting that the Pirates would even deal Colin Ballister, and he gets a strikeout right here, which is our flamethrower, brought to you by Cholula Hot Sauce, dialing it up at 95. But, you know, that the Pirates would make a deal for a pitcher with that kind of arm, you know, coming up on a month where they could probably use every arm they could probably get. And it was a cash deal, according to the transaction page. The Reds did not get a player, send a player to Pittsburgh. So,
well, that's one of those stories that you don't know all the details to. You don't know why.
But you definitely don't know why. I mean, you know why from the standpoint of the Reds, because they need arms in the bullpen. And he has had some big league experience in the past. Ballister has.
Fair ball down the line at third. This off the bat of Rogers. All the way into the corner, around second base, and now on his way to third, and he is in there.
Well, he went roaring into third base like a fullback, sending Frazier back a little bit. Frazier was getting the ball from the outfield on a fly, not a relay, just about the same time that Jason Rogers got there. Ball went down the corner and just kind of hit the top of the padding and stopped.
And normally that thing's going to kick out.
That's called keeping a tag on the runner right there.
It's going to get a run home here as Bourgeois makes the catch. Domingo Santana gets himself an RBI and a sacrifice fly. Second RBI of the day for Santana. 7th of the year. Now it's a 2-run game at 8-6 Milwaukee. The second triple of the year for Jason Rogers. That ball which normally kicks out in the corner, that's stuck, gets the Brewers another run. And now a base hit by Jeanette. Now Elion Herrera, who had a home run back in the 8th, it broke the tie at 6. That's here in the 9th. 1 on, 1 in, 2 out. Red to left, Bruce, Votto, Phillips. Anybody gets on Frazier in the bottom of the 9th inning, we figure would be against Francisco Rodriguez. Brewers will be trying to hang on in the bottom of the 9th for their 5th consecutive win. It would be their longest winning streak of the second half. That's a strikeout. Herrera disposed of. But a run across on a sac fly by Santana. Reds down by 2 as they come up in the bottom of the 9th. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Couple of defensive plays turned in by the Reds man at the hot corner, Todd Frazier. This in the first inning. Backpedaling and throwing, and a good stretch by Votto to retire Segura to start the game. And now this diving stop again against Segura in the third. Once again, Segura can't believe it. He's out 2 times. Frazier makes the plays down at third in support at that time of John Lamb. Miller time moments of the game. Reds are still hoping, of course, for some other big moments in this one. Down by 2 at 8-6 as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. They were able to get to Francisco Rodriguez 1 week ago in Milwaukee. They'll try to do it here tonight.
Well, he's been a closer here for the Brewers a couple of different times. The last 2 seasons he has compiled 77 saves, and he's got 33 of 34 this year. Frankie Rodriguez relying mostly on off-speed stuff now, but still a very successful closer. Good part of the order for the Reds here, 2, 3, and 4.
Well, when the Reds were able to get to him last Saturday in Milwaukee, it was Bruce, Votto, Phillips in that one. Bruce led off with a hit. Votto hit the 2-run homer to give the Reds the lead. Segura on the right side of second base. The shortstop makes the play. Bruce is out here, 6-3, out number 1.
This was about one of the most impressive home runs I've seen Joey Votto hit. Last Saturday against the Brewers, a closer, Francisco Rodriguez, and I mean opposite field, no doubter. And it had Joey dancing to the dugout. That was really uplifting home run. I mean, the whole team needed it right there, and they could use a little magic here in the 9th today. I would imagine it's an easy time to see the baseball right now. Shadows of the light standers beginning to show themselves across the infield.
Votto lifetime has done pretty well against Rodriguez, 3 for 7. Make it 4 for 8. Puts one down the right field line. Now give Phillips, represents the tying run, with a chance. So Votto's been on 4 times today. 2 walks, 2 hits.
Amazing.
It is. You're right.
I mean, the amount. I've not seen a player this hard to retire. I mean, to keep off the base paths since Barry Bonds at the height of his glory. And that was a very unusual base hit for Votto, because you can count on probably one hand the number of times he has hit a fly ball to right field, especially one that has gone in for a base hit like that. He really never hits a ball to right unless he rolls over on a grounder. So maybe Brandon's turn to center one up.
Phillips with 4 times up today, on base 4 times, plus the last 3 in Chicago. So he's been on 7 times in a row. 3 hits, a walk, and 3 more hits. His average now at .293. There's another hit for Phillips. 4 of them in this game for Brandon. He has reached base 8 straight times. And the Reds have the tying runs on with 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th.
Well, you can certainly say that Brandon Phillips and Joey Votto have done what they needed to do today to get this team going.
No doubt about it.
Phillips has 4 hits and a walk. Votto with 2 hits and 2 walks. 3 runs scored between them. All you need is a big fly out of Frazier, and you send him out of here happy. Frazier against Rodriguez, 0 for 7. So you may say he is due, although he gets fooled on this off-speed pitch right there. Brewers outfield pinned against the wall, prevent a double.
Round out Bruce, single Votto, single Phillips. Frazier 1 for 3 with a run batted in today. Schumacher on deck. Reds led early 5-1. Brewers led 6-5. They lead 8-6 now in the bottom of the ninth. Strikeout, the 7th of this game by Milwaukee pitching, and so he is now 0 for 8 lifetime against K-Rod, and now this game rests on the shoulders of Skip Schumacher. Skip 1 for 4, bounced into a double play ball that produced the tying run in the 7th. Only to see Herrera come up to lead off the 8th against Hoover with a home run. Remember, stay with us afterwards. Reds Live post game brought to you by Performance Kings Honda. Give a recap of this game. Well, it wasn't that long ago that Schumacher came up with a big hit, part of that 10-run inning against the Tigers, that makeup game in the last homestand. His hit put the Reds over the top. Came back from a 5-0 deficit in that game. Here he is with an opportunity now in the bottom of the ninth. Smashed to third, but caught down there by Herrera. And the first game of this split doubleheader goes to the visiting Milwaukee Brewers, who've now won 5 in a row against the Reds here at Great American Ballpark. The final score here this afternoon, 8-6 Milwaukee with a win. Winning pitcher in the game for Milwaukee is Jeremy Jeffress. Francisco Rodriguez with his 34th save. The loser is J.J. Hoover. Reds Live post game right after the break from Great American Ballpark.